सीधे लिए चलते हैं विज्ञान भवन दिल्ली, जहां पर चुनाव आयोग की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कुछ ही देर में होने जा रही है। चुनाव आयोग की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस सबसे कुछ देर बाद होने वाली है, जिसमें 5 राज्यों के लिए चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान किया जाएगा। आपको बता दें, पश्चिम बंगाल, असम, केरल और चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान होना है। तमिलनाडु और पुडुचेरी में भी चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान संभव है। तो कुछ ही देर में चुनाव आयोग की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होने जा रही है। 5 राज्यों के लिए चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान अब से कुछ देर बाद होना है। पश्चिम बंगाल, असम, केरल की चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान होगा। तमिलनाडु और पुडुचेरी में भी चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान होगा। तो विज्ञान भवन की ये तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, जहां पर इलेक्शन कमीशन की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होने जा रही है। तो दिल्ली विज्ञान भवन की ये तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, जहां पर चुनाव आयोग कुछ ही देर में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करने जा रहा है, जिसमें 5 राज्यों के चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान होगा। तो दिल्ली विज्ञान भवन की तस्वीरें हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं, जहां पर चुनाव आयोग कुछ देर में प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करने जा रहा है। तो दिल्ली की ये तस्वीरें, 5 राज्यों के चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान संभव। तो पश्चिम बंगाल, आपको बता दें कि असम, केरल चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान हो सकता है और तमिलनाडु और पुडुचेरी में भी संभव है कि चुनाव की तारीखों का ऐलान हो जाए। तो विज्ञान भवन की ये तस्वीरें दिल्ली।
In the press conference, kindly settle down please, and I hope all mobile phones have been put on silent. I'll request the camera people kindly not to block. Good afternoon and welcome to this press conference. The ECI team led by Chief Election Commissioner Shri Sunil Arora ji along with Election Commissioners Shri Sushil Chandra ji and Shri Rajiv Kumar ji are here to share the due details for this press conference with you. I would request CEC Shri Arora ji to make his opening remarks, and floor would then be open for media interaction. Kindly, sir.
Sushil Chandra ji, Honorable Election Commissioner. Am I audible? Rajiv Kumar ji, Honorable Election Commissioner. Secretary General of Election Commission of India, who, despite the fact that his son got married 3-4 days back, joined the very next day. Congratulations to him for that. And rejoined the office the very next day, and with his colleagues has been working on this issue. Dharmendra ji, Sudeep Jain, Chandrabhushan Kumar and Shefali ji, and all the friends from print, electronic, social, digital, whatever form of media. We are meeting again today after, I think, our Bihar press conference, and today it is for sharing the details of elections to state assembly elections to Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry, Union Territory of Puducherry. My only request is that after I finish, Shefali ji will take the floor. As always, if we all kind of raise our hand, identify ourselves and ask questions one by one, we'll all be able to hear the replies, and there will be no disturbance. We always got this cooperation from you, and I solicit the same this time also. Normally the onset of a new year symbolizes hope, cheer and happiness. 2021 has ushered in something more valuable post-COVID: resilience, solidarity, and a sense of global community. Amid the challenges of COVID, please switch off the mobile if possible. Amid the challenges of keep them on silent. Amid the challenges of COVID-19 that we still continue to face, we shall find immense comfort in the stories of hope and see value in the positive and encouraging lessons that are emerging in the post-COVID world. This period of unprecedented health crisis will also be remembered for the innumerable acts of courage, compassion, selflessness by these so-called ordinary people doing most extraordinary acts. I hope you will allow me, but our individual and collective tributes to the COVID warriors and heroes, doctors, paramedic staff, nurses, researchers, scientists, and last but not the least, from ECI point of view, all our officials on the election duty who are located in the front line right up to the polling station level and trying to kind of see the process through. With keeping all this in mind, we have kept the leitmotif and theme of National Voters Day 2021, making our voters safe, empowered, informed and vigilant. Last year, when the entire world was confronted with an unprecedented crisis in the form of COVID-19, a whole lot of election management bodies across the democracies were faced with a tough predicament of how to balance the democratic rights of citizens to choose their representatives while also preserving and protecting the health and safety of the people. Many countries hazarded to venture and took the courageous route, in spite of these circumstances, to venture and took courageous decision to go ahead with the elections with some adjustments in the election schedules and other precautions. In the thick of this pandemic, ECI started the kind of test trials with election to 18 seats of Rajya Sabha on June 19, 2020. Admittedly, the electoral college is very limited, but that was a kind of way of starting the process. But after that and some legislative council elections came the challenge of Bihar. With 7.3 crore electorate of Bihar, it was indeed a watershed moment for ECI. It proved to be a kind of litmus test. We have been going under litmus tests before, but this was quite different. And I am glad to report to you that the electorate of Bihar reposed their confidence in the extensive sanitization and health safety measures put in place at polling stations. I would be failing in my duty if I don't tell you that many of our collectors, they suffered from COVID in Bihar, rejoined their duties and saw the process through. One divisional commissioner had this problem. She was still manning 2 divisions. One IG, unfortunately, he passed away due to COVID and other comorbidities. We requested his wife and his daughter to come here for National Voters Day Award, which was given on a virtual basis by Honorable President of India. I also have with me here Chandrabhushan Kumar, who was in charge of COVID, who is sitting on this side so you can see him. I would request the CEO of Bihar to just stand up and be counted. They are the people who really put in day in and day out to carry the entire process through. In fact, you will be glad to know, and you must be already aware, that voter turnout in assembly elections in Bihar 2020, 57.34%, exceeded both the previous assembly election of 2015 as well as Lok Sabha elections 2019. And I would like also to report to you that women voters turned out in very large numbers, 59.69%. Even while the ECI was grappling with the Bihar election, a core team of dedicated officers led by Shri Umesh Sinha was already working on these 5 elections for which we are in front of you today. Actually, they have a system of series of meetings with the officials of Home Ministry regarding the availability of forces, officials of Railway regarding the coaches which are required for transportation of the CPFs, Postal Department people and any other department whose services may be required for the smooth conduct of elections. And they start their preparation very quietly months before the actual process. It culminates in the form of a formal announcement. Even otherwise, as a part of the background, besides the background meetings, Shri Umesh Sinha, Secretary General, personally visited Tamil Nadu and Puducherry in January. Shri Dharmendra Sharma, Senior DEC, visited Assam in January and February. Shri Sudeep Jain, DEC, who besides being the DEC in charge of EVMs, is also in charge of West Bengal. He visited in January and December. Full Commission visited all the 5 poll-going states and UT of Puducherry in January and February. We started with Assam, then came to West Bengal. After an interval of about 5-6 days, we went to Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Kerala. And our system is that we start with interactive interaction with the political parties and entities, because the firm belief of the Commission is that after a voter, it's the political parties and entities who actually form the bedrock of the entire electoral process. After that, we listen to the field officers. We also talk to the regulatory agencies of both Government of India as well as the state government. We culminate our meeting, official meetings with the meeting with the Chief Secretary, DGP, senior officers of that state, and finally we end the visit with a briefing to the media, as was done in all these 5 states. I must compliment the voters whose trust in India's democratic system, resolved to articulate their electoral choice and firm determination to participate is inspiring. They brave several odds and difficulties, personal, domestic, professional, sometimes even barriers, to come out on the election day to mark their votes at the polling station. In fact, if you recall, a whole lot of you attended the NVD this time also, as you do every year. We have prepared an entire collage around the common man of R.K. Lakshman to kind of explain and convey the ECI's ethos of how we perceive the elections. The terms of Assam is up to 31st May 2021. Number of assembly seats is 126. Please tell me if you don't catch me, I'll speak again. Term of Assam is 31 for 31st May 2021. Number of assembly seats is 126. Reserved seats SC 8, ST 16. Term of Tamil Nadu is 24th May 2021. Number of assembly seats 234. Reserved seats SC 44, ST 2. West Bengal term of assembly is up to 30th May 2021. Number of assembly seats is 294. SC seats are 68. ST seats are 16. Kerala, the term is up to 1st June. Number of assembly seats is 140. Reserved seats are 14 and for SC and 2 for ST. Puducherry, the term is up to 8th June. Number of assembly seats is 30. Reserved seats SC 5, ST nil. A total of 824 assembly constituencies shall be going for polls during these elections. 18.68 crore electors will cast vote at 2.7 lakh polling stations in these states and UT of Puducherry. More than 3 lakh service vote electors will be availing the facility of electronic transmitted postal ballot system, that is ETPBS. The special summary revision was held with respect to 1/1/21 as the qualifying date and the electoral roll published in January 2021 itself. Because we have reduced due to COVID, we used to have a polling station with maximum 1,500. Now we have made the qualifying thing to be 1,000. We have also ensured that all polling stations are on the ground floor. That is completely non-negotiable. So Assam, the polling stations in 2016 were 24,890. 2021, 33,530. Percentage increase in polling stations 34.71. Tamil Nadu, we had 66,007 polling stations. Number of polling stations in 2021 are 88,936. Percentage increase is 34.73%. West Bengal, it was 77,413 in 16 and 1,01,916 now. The percentage increase is 31.65%. Sorry? 1,0916 and the percentage increase is 31.65%. Is it okay? Kerala, we had 21,498. Now we have 40,771. The percentage increase is 89.65 because the population is so dense. The density of population is so much. Puducherry is 930. Number of polling stations now is 1559. The increase is 67.63%. Why, my friends, I am trying to mention this is that this also means that much more polling personnel, that much more security personnel, because the norms for the polling personnel and the security personnel remain the same. And although we try that, our CEOs try that the auxiliary polling stations, as we call them, are near the original polling stations so that we can kind of optimize on the utilization of manpower. You are all aware that after taking the inputs from several stakeholders, Commission had issued a set of guidelines for COVID in the context of COVID on 22nd August 2020. The inputs were taken from political parties as well as from our CEOs of all the states and UTs. We also mentioned in that whereas these guidelines are generally as per the NDMA guidelines and issued by Ministry of Home, but at the same time in fact, as is mentioned in the MHA guidelines also, the states can make local variations and local changes, keeping in view their own milieu. However, this is the paradigm. We keep coordinating with the Ministry of Health and keep a very close watch on the health situation in the poll-bound states. The rollout of vaccination program has further contributed to a more positive environment as compared to earlier, and probably is gradually boosting the confidence of people for coming elections. I am glad to report to you that on the recommendations of the Commission, Health Ministry has already declared all our poll officials as frontline workers for vaccination. And the Commission has taken a conscious decision that after all our frontline workers are vaccinated, then only in the headquarters it will start from the, let's say from the MTS, the helpers, and the Commission will get vaccinated in the end and not in the beginning.